everyone, and welcome to the new rebranded what is it here record. We're gonna call it from now on. We're gonna call it the Rock and Rap Connection. Unfortunately, my co-host Chris could not make it for the debut episode, so I am going to handle the festivities for this week. Chris should be back next week, so stay tuned for that. I think he's gonna cover the rock side of the music industry, and of course I will handle the hip hop side of the music industry, and then we're gonna have discussions on all of the things we talked about to round out the show going forward. Okay, so um, we'll have one more hip hop episode filled for this week, and then next week, Chris will be here to uh, round out the rock side of the hip hop of the music industry. Okay, so just to start off today, um, so just a continuation of 2 weeks ago. So in terms of the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion case, so just as a final end to this saga here. So apparently, Tory Lanez has been found guilty in Megan Thee Stallion's shooting case. So what that means, of course, is he faces like 32 or 22 years in prison, or like basically a whole lifetime in prison. And his sentencing, his official sentencing is he's due back in court January 27th. So January 27th, we're gonna hear the final verdict of this case, but he's been found guilty of shooting Megan Thee Stallion's feet. Okay, so of course he is Canadian. So I but of course, regardless if he's Canadian or not, if you do something like that, of course you deserve whatever punishment comes along with it, right? So there was so earlier in the case they were saying that the 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 gun casings and the gunpowder were found to be inconclusive, meaning they didn't know who shot who, right? So because Megan Thee Stallion's friend was there as well, Kelsey, so people were saying that Kelsey may have been the one to shoot her, but apparently there was enough evidence to incriminate Tory Lanez in the case. So yeah, January 27th, he will find out his final, I guess his final verdict. So moving on from that, there were rumors that Jay-Z had a because Megan Thee Stallion's management is Rock Nation, which is run by Jay-Z. So there were rumors that Jay-Z played a part in getting Tory Lanez convicted, but I don't necessarily believe that. And I'm not one to get into rumors of that nature. So yeah, I don't believe that for 1 second. So the next thing we're gonna get into is so I'm gonna say his name as Uncle M. So Uncle M, there's an artist named Uncle M, or Uncle Murda, who releases at each January, at each start of the year, January 1st, Uncle Murda releases a wrap up. Wrap up meaning he releases a song containing everything, rapping about everything that happened during the year. So everything from Megan Thee Stallion's case to COVID-19 to monkeypox, he raps he raps about everything. So yeah, so the wrap up is available now on YouTube. The official video to that song is like a 10-minute or 15-minute song. So that the official video to that song is dropping tomorrow. So just to give you a bit of a background about Uncle Murda, he is now signed to 50 Cent and G-Unit Records. Well, he's been signed since 2017 there, but he was also signed to Jay-Z. So it's an interesting dynamic. They were talking about, so Uncle Murda was talking about the differences between how Jay-Z acts and how 50 Cent acts, right? So what he was saying was he's appreciative to Jay-Z because that's where when he was signed to Jay-Z and Def Jam Records or Def Jam, that's where his first 6-figure check came from. But the difference between Jay-Z and 50 Cent is you can communicate. It's easy to communicate with 50 Cent, right? So 50 Cent's phone is always open, and he's always willing to have a conversation with any artist, his artist or any artist of any nature. So the difference between Jay-Z and 50 Cent is 50 Cent is willing to communicate with artists, while Jay-Z, it's strictly business with him. Like if you're not talking, if it's not a meeting to talk about business, he basically doesn't know that you exist, right? So and you can see, like I mentioned in other episodes, 50 Cent has no problem taking the artist on his label on a 60, on a 25 like a world or city or world tour, right? So but if it were Jay-Z, he would never do that for his artist, right? So that's the difference. 50 Cent takes care of his artist, while Jay-Z is just business with him, right? There's no like family connection or friendly connection, I should say, friendly connection with his artists. But yeah, you should check out the wrap up by Uncle Murda. Again, he drops it January 1st of every year. It started in like 2017 or 18, right? So for the last few years. Also, yeah, you can check out Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda's official interview with thisis50.com and Justina Love on thisis50.com. They talk about the tour that they went on and the things that they have coming up in 2023. I also believe that Uncle Murda is gonna drop in his long-awaited album on G-Unit Records, the Lenny Grant story, which is Lenny Grant is his entire first name, so Lenny Grant is his real name. So moving on from that, I was very interested to see. Now I'm gonna give you a list, and I'm gonna read you the numbers of rappers with the most YouTube views for all of 2022, right? So rappers with the most YouTube views for all of 2022. So coming in first place with 5.1 billion views is Eminem. Of course, Eminem is always at the top of his game and at the top of everything he does. So that's to be expected. Shout out to my guy Eminem. The reason why I started listening to hip hop in the first place, actually. So yeah, it's incredible to see that after all this time, he's still at the top of lists like this. Coming in at number two with 3 billion YouTube views for 2022 is Doja Cat. So for those who don't know Doja Cat, she's a rapper, but she's also a R&B artist as well. Like she's a multi-talented artist, and yeah, and sorry, and yeah, so she's a multi-talented artist, and she seems to her fan base seems to support her in everything she does. She gets like millions of views on every song she drops. So that's an artist that you guys would want to check out. Is a female artist is Doja Cat. Coming in at number 3, with 2.9 billion views in 2022 on YouTube is Drake. What can I say about Drake, man? Yeah, I guess he's at the top of his game as well. Obviously from my area, from Toronto. And yeah, I'm glad to see that a Canadian artist at the top of hip hop right now. So and for many years. So that's good to see. So coming in fourth place, is with 2.9 billion views on YouTube is NBA YoungBoy. I told you guys I spoke about this in previous episodes, earlier last year. NBA YoungBoy is an artist that you guys are going to want to check out because he built his audience on YouTube, and his audience always comes through for him when he drops albums. I think he's dropping one later tonight as well, a new one. So I'm gonna give you the name of that later, later in the episode, and we'll talk about that more. Coming in fifth place is Lil Baby with 2.1 billion views. Coming in sixth place is Future with 1.9 billion views. Coming in seventh place again is Lil Nas X with 1.9 billion views. This is another one, another interesting one. Coming in 10th is Juice WRLD. Now, for those of you who don't know, Juice WRLD died a few years ago by overdose, right? So it's interesting to see that he still gets 1.8 billion views on YouTube in 2022. Next is Nicki Minaj with 1.8 billion views. Now, this is a very interesting. The next one I'm going to mention is very interesting to note, and the one that stands out actually out of all these great artists. Next, we have with 1.8 billion views, somebody who hasn't released an album since 2014. That's what? Like 9 years ago or 8 years ago, however you want to put it. 8 or 9 years ago. Coming in next with 1.8 billion views is my favorite artist. Well, my top 2 or my top 5 favorite artists in 50 Cent. So this is how you know 50 Cent is a legend. He hasn't released an album since 2014, right? So how in God's name does he still average 1.8 billion views on YouTube? That's how you know that he has an international fan base. His fan base is solidified, and he is a legend. So for anybody who criticizes me or chastises me for having 50 Cent in my top 5 artists of all time, I have more. I just got more ammunition as to reasons why I put him in my top 5. So lastly, we also with 1.8 billion views, Lil Durk. Now, Lil Durk has been in hip hop for many, many, many years. I think like starting from 2009 or 2010 or something like that. But just now, just like in the past 2 or 3 years, is when he's gotten his recognition. What I want to say about that is I know that this music industry may seem cutthroat, and in some cases, to be honest, it is. But Lil Durk and people like 50 Cent are reasons why artists should never give up on their dream of being musicians or anything you want to do, because it doesn't matter how long you've been going at something or trying to achieve something. Eventually you will get your breakthrough and people will start noticing your talent. Because I remember in like '09 or again '08 or '09, I seen Lil Durk. I seen Lil Durk's videos and songs, and I heard his songs, and I'm like, okay, he's good, but he needs practice. So to see, like, you need to hone your craft at some times, right? So to see him achieve or gain an achievement like gaining 1.6 billion views on YouTube in 2022, that's a proud moment for me, because I've been following Lil Durk's career basically since the start of it, right? So it's a good thing to see that. Um along with the list of most YouTube views, or rappers with the most YouTube views in 2022, along with that announcement, 50 Cent also um 50 Cent also announced that he's going to be releasing new music this year. Now, he did not specify whether it would be an album, a soundtrack for one of his TV shows, or anything like that. But just the fact that 50 Cent is thinking about releasing new music, just that general fact gets me hyped up for to hear what he has in store, because again, we haven't heard from him since like 2014, so, or a full body of work from him since 2014. So I'm excited to see what he has in store for this year in terms of new music, new movies, new films, new everything. So it's gonna be an exciting year for hip hop and my generation of listeners here. So um speaking of that, so moving on. So some sad news to start off the year. On January 1st, it was reported that um, Gangsta Boo, a female artist from the legendary group 3 6 Mafia, was found passed away on her front porch on New Year's Day. So again, sending my condolences to Gangsta Boo and her entire family, and also to the other members of 3 6 Mafia. Um, she in terms of Gangsta Boo, she was a legend in the down south areas, down south areas like Memphis, Tennessee, and that region down there. She was a south bred artist. So um sending my condolences to her and her loved ones as well. Um I'm gonna read you guys a few tweets that I find interesting. Not considering that I'm on Twitter right now as well. Um so on New Year's Day as well, Lloyd Banks took some time to kind of have a Q&A on Twitter with fans. So one of the tweets that sticks out to me is when one of the fans asked, "Are you ever gonna make?" They asked Lloyd Banks, "Are you ever gonna make a Cold Corner 3 or another All or Nothing project with DJ Drama?" So Lloyd Banks' response to that was, "Yes, I will. Believe me, what I do this year will be nothing short of classic." So just going off of that tweet, I expect Lloyd Banks to release more than one project this year, and I expect both Cold Corner 3 and another All or Nothing project with DJ Drama to drop. So he's probably gonna drop another album this year as well. So 2023 is gonna be filled with many surprises and many exciting projects to look forward to this year. Just moving on from that. Give me a second, guys. 1 second. Just looking for something. Hold on. There was another announcement I wanted to make, or another thing I wanted to say. Sorry, guys.
Costco, while you're doing that, also too, from the Rock and Rap Connection and the ATR Network, we would like to give our condolences to the family of Fred White, the original drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire, who played with his brother and his stepbrother.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was the original drummer for Earth, Wind, and Fire, who passed away on January 2nd at the age of 69.
Oh, wow. Okay. So sending our condolences to him and his family. Yeah. And thank you, Carl, for that. But I found what I wanted to say. So I'm gonna continue with that. Yeah. So what I wanted to tell you guys is that Tony Yayo, who is also of G Unit, released his new song, his newest song since like 2012, I believe. So he has a new song with also with Lloyd Banks called Rocket Chamber. So yeah, like I said, that is his first song since his first release since 2012, and I think he's doing that because he's also going again on a 24-date Canadian tour starting January 18th. So he's releasing, Tony Yayo of G Unit is releasing new music. We have his first single since 2012 called Rocket Chamber featuring Lloyd Banks. You guys should check that out because it's a great song. The beat is great. The rhyme schemes are great. Lloyd Banks never misses. He never misses when it comes to spitting guest verse. So three things with Tony Yayo. So he released his new single, Rocket Chamber, featuring Lloyd Banks. First one since 2012. 2, he's going on a 24-date Canadian tour starting January 18th. He'll be here in Toronto on February 5th. And 3, he has his own podcast called Welcome to the Culture. Episode 6 is now available. Well, all episodes are now available on the Welcome to the Culture YouTube channel. So 3 things with Tony Yayo. He's back active again. Podcast, new music, and new Canadian tour starting January 18th. Also, on the R&B side, rhythm and blues side of things, SZA, the R&B artist I talked to you guys a few weeks ago, I know the Christmas holiday was in between there, but I talked about this a few weeks ago. SZA's new album SOS has spent 3 weeks at number one. So it's the best R&B album basically of the year, and an R&B artist spending 3 weeks at number one hasn't happened since Beyonce released her self-titled album, Beyonce, of course, a few years ago. So, an R&B album hasn't been as successful as SZA's album since Beyonce released her self-titled album, Beyonce, a few years ago. Oh, that's that's interesting. So to have your name mentioned um in the same sentence as Beyonce is absolutely incredible, in my opinion. She also chose the next singles off her album, which are called Nobody Gets Me, and apparently the second one is called Kill. So the second one is called Kill Bill. So those are the next two singles off SZA's album, and they're gonna be released to radio either this week or next week. So stay tuned for that. For the people who listen to the radio still, I don't really listen to the radio still, but anyway, it's people have their own preferences, I guess. In terms of going back to a death that we had in that the hip hop industry had in November. So Quavo, a member of the Migos, released a tribute song and video called "Without You," dedicated to his deceased group member Takeoff. So you guys are gonna wanna check that video out. It's out right now. It's a great dedication. It's a heartfelt dedication, and again, you guys are gonna wanna check that out. In other news, De La Soul, their entire music catalog is coming to streaming services finally on March 3rd. So for those who don't know, De La Soul is a group made of three talented artists who've had label troubles in the past, and that's why their music hasn't been able to be on streaming services lately. But they've gotten past those problems, and all of their catalog again are being released on streaming services like Spotify, like Apple Music, and all the main ones on March 3rd. So that's another thing you guys should check for, because De La Soul is legendary. I wish I could. Okay, because I just found something. I just found something. So I wish I could post this, but I don't think I can. There's a posting by hiphopandmore.com. It says there's a blog post by hiphopandmore.com. It says, and this is legitimate. It says all 47 prosecutor exhibits in Tory Lanez case of shooting Megan Thee Stallion surface online. So there's somebody on YouTube, because I guess it works like this. After the case and the verdict has been handed out, people are allowed, or the court system gives them access to all the evidence and all the exhibits that were used during the case. So somebody posted all 47 exhibits that the prosecution used against Tory Lanez. Somebody posted it on YouTube. So if you guys go to hiphopandmore.com, you can view them in a blog post there. What else? Just going back to Lloyd Banks for a second. So I think he's gonna have a legendary year because other than the song he just released with Tony Yayo called Rocket Chamber, he also has another collaboration coming out in 4 hours at midnight. So in 4 hours at midnight, he has another collaboration coming out with another legendary lyricist named RJ Payne. So you guys are gonna, I think it's called Banks Meets Payne or something like that. I don't know I don't know if that's the exact title, but it's produced by somebody that I know and somebody that I respect. His name is Cartoon Beats. So CartuneBeatz. So Cartoon Beats has been Lloyd Banks' main producer for his last 2 albums. He produced 3 songs on The Course of the Inevitable 1, Sidewalks, Empathy featuring Freddie Gibbs, and Falsified featuring Ransom. So 3 songs on The Course of the Inevitable 1, and 57% or more than half of his latest Lloyd Banks' latest album, The Course of the Inevitable 2. So you should check. This is another producer that you should check out is Cartoon Beats. That's CartuneBeatz. And as I say that, I believe that we're gonna head to commercial, Mr. Roberts, if you don't mind. And yeah, I'll see you guys after the break then.
Hey folks, this is Carl from the ATR Network. Just want to let you know we have a brand new sponsor. It's Doobie Energy. All your energy drinks with no jitters and no crash. Check this out. See you next time.
And we're back. So as we return from break, some other news that I wanted to get to you guys is that speaking of The Course of the Inevitable 2, I don't know how you I pronounce it two different ways. I pronounce it as vinyl, but it's vinyl. So the vinyl editions of The Course of the Inevitable 2 are also available now at a website called, let me go into it here, at a website called rrcmusic.co. So if you go there, you're gonna see The Course of the Inevitable 2 vinyls available for $60, which is well worth it because it was a great album. So I would purchase that if it was me, but who knows? I'm a Lloyd Banks super fan, so I purchase anything that he puts out anyway. But anyway, so yeah, so also it's past now, but during the Christmas holidays, he had merchandise available at his store. I don't believe that it's available now. I think they're all sold out, but I purchased some merchandise as well. And now we have the presence of the great Mr. Roberts.
So Costa,
yes, sir.
You were talking about Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks' new track, correct?
Yes.
Rocket Chamber, which is produced by Reasonable.
So reasonable, yes, so reasonable. From Queens, New York, I believe. Yes.
But it's a collaboration of former G Unit colleagues together.
Yes, for the first time since 2014, of course. Yes. So it's the first collaboration. Yeah, like Mr. Roberts said, it's the first collaboration for many, many years for G Unit members or former G Unit member Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo.
Yep.
So it's great to see. It's great to see that just because they're not particularly in a group necessarily anymore, that they're still able to come together and make, or at least try to make, classic hip hop records still at this time.
Exactly. There you go, bud.
Thanks. Thank you for the extended information, sir. I forgot about that. Yeah, but thank you, Mr. Roberts. You're the best. Yeah. So hold on. I think I have my niece here. 1 second. Hi, Angelina. Guys, this is my niece. Hi, Angelina. How are you? Good. Are you going on vacation tomorrow?
I'm going on
vacation, eh? Okay. Have fun, dear. I love you.
I love you.
Love you. Are you eating a cucumber? What are you eating there? Oh, apple? Apple? Okay. All right. Bye, dear. See you later. Bye. I love you. Thank you.
Hi, Dan. Hi.
Sorry, guys. That was my niece. But yeah. So the Course of the Inevitable 2 is available now in vinyl. I keep screwing up that name. In vinyl. At rrcmusic.co. For $60. What else is there? What else is there that we can talk about? I don't know what Chris wanted to talk about in terms of the rock side of things, so I'm not gonna I'm gonna wait until next week to bring up the rock stuff here. But to be honest, I think that's all for wow, that's all for this week, I guess, because I don't see any new information here that I can talk about, guys. So on that note, you will see Chris here next week, like I said, and he will talk about the rock side of things of the music industry, and I'll continue with the hip hop side. So on that note, I want to wish you guys a happy new year, and I hope that this year was very or is very better, better, not very better, but an excellent year for you guys, and sending you many blessings throughout this year and for the many years that are to come. Okay, so thanks for tuning in to our rebranded show, the Rock and Rap Connection. And you will see Chris here, my co-host, next week. All right. So thanks for tuning in once again, and Happy New Year to all. Let's make this a good one. I plan to take this show to new heights, and I hope to have you all here for the ride. Thanks, guys.